What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of VCCLive. This is episode 9. Today we're talking about 8/8/16, a Billion Lives North American premiere, and maybe some Star Wars. We just had a really cool
Star Wars
pre-show chat about Star Wars and my lack of knowledge and Nick's supremacy. Well, that reminds me of a Muse song. Do you like Muse?
Yeah, Muse is
My
great.
supremacy. I can't do it. Anyway.
Whoa.
Was that clipping?
Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Not going to do that.
We did enough singing in
You
PA.
notice that the 8/8/16 is formatted like 11/22/63 the show because I just binge watched the whole thing in 2 days. And it was incredible. So if you had a chance and you're bored this weekend and you want to take your mind off of 8/8/16, watch 11/22/63 because it's badass.
I don't know what that is.
It's based on a Stephen King. Yeah,
A
it's
lot
on
of
a
numbers
Hulu.
for Friday.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu, and it's based off a Stephen King novel. And J.J. Abrams helps produce it, and someone else like wrote the screenplay for the TV. It's really good, dude.
Oh, dang.
It's a
Well,
like
I
a
got something to do tomorrow
sci-fi what if type scenario about JFK's assassination. Anyway, that's not why we're here today. I just thought I would point out the 8/8/16. So what's up, guys? How are things?
Busy. Both e-liquid related and day job related. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff, and obviously preparing for August 8th. Not that there's much that I need to do, but
Yeah.
I still want to be prepared.
Yeah.
Got to get those juice flavors out.
Yeah. A couple days left.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit too, but we'll see what Nick's been up to. Probably videos and vlogging and
Yeah, busy. A lot of videos, a lot of vlogging. We were scrambling this week. We released the Grim Green signature line last night, August 8th deadline. Grim Green signature line is one of those juice lines that wasn't intended to come out this early. We were planning to release it much later into the year, into fall, but due to the August 8th deadline, we obviously had to move it way up, but we released that last night, and it was selling like crazy, and I'm so stoked. I'm super proud of this juice line.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, after this, I actually have to start shooting videos for next week. So there you go.
get your Friday off to a good start.
Yeah, off to a good
BCC
start.
Live, some coffee, and then you can transition into beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee's like the filler until it's beer time.
Yes.
I already have my cup. I only drink a cup, so I'm drinking some Mio water. Mio, by the way, has propylene glycol.
That's what I'm drinking.
Just so you know, it's one of the main ingredients.
Mango Mio with a seltzer.
What's
Yeah.
one of the main ingredients?
Propylene glycol.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tobacco.
Yeah, this is a tobacco product next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, digging the shirt, by the way. I've already worn mine this week, so they're dirty. So I'm rocking the Tampa
Oh,
one.
yeah. This is maiden voyage today, actually. Just got out of the wash.
The VCC shirts that we get are really comfortable.
They're great. In
very
fact, last
comfortable.
year's Pittsburgh shirt is like my go-to.
Yeah, me too.
Every wash, that's the first one I wear. I love it so much.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. And I always get every time I wear the Pittsburgh shirts, I walk around, it's astonishing how many people are from Pittsburgh, man.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They're like, "Oh, where are you from in Pittsburgh?" I'm like, "Not really. Just do events there, every year." And they're like, "Oh man, blah blah," and they're really proud of their hometown. It's really cool to see that wherever you go. There's so many people from Pittsburgh or have family in Pittsburgh. It's pretty cool.
It's a nice town.
It is, yeah.
Had a lot of fun there.
So yeah, this week has been crazy for me. We pretty much got everything wrapped up with the VCPA event, started working on the VCCTN event, got some really good sponsors and vendors on over the last 10 days, so that's pretty cool. We still have plenty of space available if anyone's interested in watching this and you want to, sponsor or come to the Chattanooga, Tennessee event in October. It's the third week of October. Setup is on the 21st. And then I started continuing to work on getting the the VCC liquids line, which obviously, I'm sure everyone out there is saying, "Oh, God, we need another e-liquid line." But this is targeted for smokers, and it's been something I've wanted to do for at least a year and a half. And working with Innovate Labs in collaboration, they're going to be manufacturing e-liquid. It's really great stuff. Got it in our first store yesterday in Largo, Florida. So if you're watching, I think Nick Orlando watches this on his big screen TV at the Vapors Depot in Largo. So very cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, go by and check it out if you're in that area. And we have some other wholesale contacts we're working with and stuff. But yeah, the just like everyone else, the rush to get products in the market before August 8th because the government's going to screw everybody, and that's pretty much the date. You have to have things in the market by. That'll actually. So let's talk about 8816 a little bit. That's a good transition into it because I want to know what you guys think of what does on the market, quote unquote, mean. What does it mean? So in my mind, we have some products that labels won't be here, until maybe the 7th or whatever, or the 8th. But we do have everything listed on our website, and we have it listed there with products and descriptions and stuff. And some of them are listed as out of stock. Do you think that means the product is technically or legally on the market? Or what do you think, Jay?
This is one of those areas where enforcement, we're truly not going to know until enforcement starts what defines on the market. I'm interpreting it as having had at least one sale as a manufacturer and wholesaler. That's how I have to kind of interpret it. I don't have a strong social media presence. I don't have a strong marketing presence. That's never been my thing. So I'm strictly going by sales records. So as long as I have a sale,
what do you think? What do you think, Nick?
I'm good.
Yeah, I agree with Jay. I think it's important to have like a paper trail for it, sales records with dates. I think there has to be some sort of marketing involved, like a post to social media, post to Instagram, something on YouTube that has a date that can't be changed. So if I'm on YouTube and I say, this juice line is out today and it's August 8th, and that you can't change that date on that video. So that's, that's something that's concrete. I know I've been talking to some vendors who are doing they're making a couple wholesales of a product and then putting it on the website and saying that it's out of stock as of before August 8th. And then they're going to actually get some later and then have it for sale later, but not necessarily a release later.
Well, fill the orders, basically.
Yeah, filling the orders.
So that's essentially what we're doing on a few of ours, and we may or may not have the actual product to ship on or before August 8th. I'm not going to say whether or not we will, right? Because this is going out to the public forum. But I think that on the market, and my interpretation of on the market, and I could be wrong. Maybe I need to ask, and I probably will. But, later today, I'll probably give a call to a few people I know who I trust their word on, and. On the market could mean, I think you have to have some marketing effort towards it. It has to be out there in the public realm. I think it has to be at least available on the website, whether or not it's in stock or not, because, technically 2018 model year cars, I would say they're on the market, even though they're not available yet. They're promoting them, and you can pre-order them. And it doesn't mean you have to have actually taken delivery of the product or the actual object in order for it to be quote unquote on the market. On the market to me doesn't mean that you've had a sale either. If they wanted you to have a sale, they would have to say it has to be on the market, and you have to have had a sale of the actual product by August 8th, for instance.
But for me, as a very small company, it's easy enough for me to just go ahead and make the sale with some of my gold partner retailers. We'll make an actual physical sale. It's not a big deal to me. I'm not in a mad rush to release a bunch of trademarked juice names between now and Monday and just put them up on the website. That's just not
I think obviously you want to do everything that you can do, but I think if you
I'll
I'll
update my website with
if you can have sales, and if you can have invoices and stuff like that, which we do have one for Vapors Depot now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we did sell them some of the products that we won't have in until maybe Monday or Tuesday. But so I think we're covered there. But Monday is the deadline.
And we're really looking at minutia here. Like my gut reaction is that the FDA really isn't going to go after people on August 9th. I think, they fully anticipate that the industry is going to kind of regulate itself out over a period of time. You know what I mean? Like you're just going to stop seeing new e-liquids hitting the market. You're going to obviously stop seeing hardware hitting the market over the next, however long. I don't see this as like a major police effort where they're literally going to start attacking people on August 9th.
No, but it's going to change the way that things get marketed. If someone comes out with a juice on August 20th, it's not going to be this big,
Right,
huge
hype.
social media push and this huge hype thing like now out, now out. People are going to just put it on their website and say it's for sale, and then that's
Right.
it. There won't
Yeah.
be this huge hype thing that happens that we have now.
Yeah, and then at some point in the future, I'm sure the FDA will start dedicating some time and effort and manpower
And as,
into.
essentially, as soon as your company goes under the microscope, that's when you're going to have to deal with all this stuff. It's not necessarily be on August 9th. It's going to be if you become loud, if you become, if you get on their radar for whatever reason, that's
Right.
when you're going to run into problems.
So stay off the FDA's radar. You'll probably
Yeah.
have much better luck.
Yeah. Well, my thing is do everything that you can do
Absolutely.
before Monday to get it on the market. And if you have any questions about what you think on the market means, maybe it'd be best to contact an FDA specialist attorney and ask them.
Yeah, I mean that's always the good advice. Unfortunately, a lot of these small.
Yeah, these are all just
don't
our
have the cash for
opinions
it.
on what
Yeah,
we're
absolutely,
we're
absolutely.
doing. So I mean, don't take it to heart. Definitely do some consulting, and if the FDA does come after you, you're going to be the one that's going to have to substantiate your claims that it was on the market on or before August 8th. And if you're relying on the VCCLive show opinion,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Right.
So, so Jay, you had we've talked about it before, but again, we might have new viewers. What's it look like in the chat, by the way? If anyone hasn't shared this, by the way, please take us just a second to copy the YouTube link where you're watching it live and share it on Facebook and your social media, just so we get increased viewership now, and then people will be aware of it later and can watch the replay when it uploads in about an hour or so.
So far, good conversation. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to punch them through in chat, and we'll try to address them live here.
Yeah. Cool. So you had something you wanted to talk about, Nick, about the 8th, and there was some guidance put out by VTA, and I think it was one of the most clear-cut, well-written, easy to understand documents. And I'll see if I can find it really quickly here while you're talking about it. I know I think I've saved it.
Yeah, if you can drop a link in the Skype chat, that would be great, because I haven't seen that. I've been going off of fdaregs.info. I haven't seen the VTA one, and I want to.
Do you have a link for it, Jay? Or where are you looking at it from?
Well, I have the document. I can share it on Skype directly. Let me just pull up.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm trying to find it myself, actually. I have it downloaded, but I'm afraid that if I open up that folder, it's going to cut into our broadcast on this screen, so I don't want to do that. I want to...
Why didn't that work?
Actually, yeah, you're a little...
So while they're doing that, I'm going to talk about Star Wars for a little bit.
Can we talk about Kevin's understanding of Star Wars?
Can we talk about Kevin's understanding of Star Wars?
I've watched them the first three, well, excuse me, I guess it would be 6, 7, 8, a few times.
Keira Knightley is not Princess Leia. No,
But she is.
that's not a thing.
Man, I
That was
can't...
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Did you
Yeah.
actually send the link? If I click on the link, though, so let me go to...
Now my PDF is freezing, so that's
Yeah.
what I get for leaving stuff open overnight.
PDF is freezing.
Yeah, so I tried to drag and drop it right into the Skype conversation.
Well, Georgia Smoke Free Association has it on their website, so I'm going to attempt to go to the right monitor. And is that clear enough to read? I don't know. Maybe it needs to be bigger. I don't know how to pop this out into a new...
Oh, no, that looks okay.
Okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking with butter. All right. So this is the document that Jay is referring to here, and it gives some guidance. I thought there was a timeline in here somewhere.
yeah, I was going to say that's a little different than the one I'm looking at.
Okay, yeah. Okay, my bad. I'm wrong completely. So just go over it verbally, Jay. What do you...
Well, now I can't scroll through my PDF. That's what we get for trying to do stuff on the fly here.
Well, we're live. We have issues, so
Yeah. Okay, so obviously August 8th is the effective date. What does that mean? For retail shops, I think one of the biggest things is that the minor ban is now federal. And
found
so,
it. Got it. Found it. Here we
got
go.
it?
Yep.
So all sales to people under 18 is prohibited, and retailers must see photo ID of anyone who appears 26 or under. That's an important distinction. You can't just card people who look 18, because here in Massachusetts, we've had this law in effect for years, where inspectors and different regulatory agencies will send people in who are 26, and if you don't card them, you get dinged. As silly as that sounds, you will get dinged if you don't card somebody under 20.
Well, again, this is what a reasonable person. This is how the law views that. So if someone comes in and they obviously have a long beard and gray hair, and they appear to be, say, 65, a reasonable person would not card that person. But if they're in a range where a reasonable person would say they look 26 or younger, and you don't, you are going to be held accountable for that. So
you're going to be held accountable. So, do you want to, skate around that issue? And, what kind of policies do you want to have in place? Do you want to have to, go to court to fight a fine that you get because you didn't card somebody who is 26?
Right.
I know that across the country, Buffalo Wild Wings has a policy where they literally card every single person, no matter how old they are, when they try to buy alcohol. And that's actually in the short term, that's what I've been advising my local shops here to do in Massachusetts.
No,
just have a policy, just to get people into the habit of carding literally everybody.
Buffalo Wild Wings also has a sign at our local one, which is about 2 minutes from my house, that says on the patio outside, not even inside, no smoking, or which includes use of e-cigarettes. So
interesting. They actually invited us to have a vape meet there.
Maybe it's just a local one's policy. I tried to explain it to the manager and asked him if he would change that, but
it's probably
to no avail yet.
Might be a corporate policy at this point.
All right, so sales to minors banned, which again, I think 46 of the 50 states already have some policy on that anyway, but I guess at the federal level, it'll cover the last 4 states and the other states, so it supersedes state law. And the next one was product adulteration. So let's flip back over here and you can kind of explain what that means.
Well, that's a good question. What does it mean? It says, all manufacturers must operate their facilities in a sanitary manner such that no products are manufactured or shipped that are contaminated in a manner that might injure the public health beyond the risks that may be inherent in the product. So what does that mean? Your guess is as good as mine.
What it means to me is that you have to have some cleanliness standards in manufacturing.
Right. But
so that you're not going to have, a cleaning agent turn up in the e-liquid that's going to cause more harm than they think that e-liquid would cause anyway by just vaping it.
Again,
that's what it means to me.
Again, the crux is in the enforcement. We don't know what this is going to look like until they provide further guidance, which is probably a good year or two away as far as manufacturing processes. So we're really, I've been and a lot of smaller manufacturers have been operating under the food grade clean room system, which has been supported by people in the know for smaller manufacturers. Obviously, once you get to a larger manufacturing status, you have to up your game a little bit, and now you're looking at ISO standards for pharmaceutical lab kind of stuff. So what is the ultimate regulation going to look like as far as GMP? We don't know.
I think it would be a good idea to maybe look, and this is why I like the VTA guidance too, because it tells you exactly what section of the federal law that it's affecting. Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, FDCA, Section 902, subsection 1. So if you want to read further into that, you can, because VTA has told us where exactly this is affecting and what law. So maybe it's a good idea for you to go look there for further guidance on what they're exactly talking about.
But you're also going to have to look at prior enforcement initiatives. How has this been handled in the past? Just looking at the regs. Just look at the FDA regs on vaping now. You can't decipher that. There's no prerequisites to any of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, the way I look at legal issues is I'm going to follow the way that they're telling me to follow it. I don't care how they've enforced it against other people. How are they going to enforce it against me if they come and check my stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
If I can tell them this is what I've
that's-
done specifically to comply with this section of the FDCA, and based on my interpretation, and unless you tell me otherwise, that's what I think is true and correct.
Yeah, and that's certainly that's pretty much our only option at this point.
Right.
Because there's no history. There's no case law.
Yeah.
At this,
Well, but I'm sure there will be, like you said, within the next year or two.
there will be.
All right, so the next section was modified risk claims, and this is under the FDCA section 902 subsection 8.
Right, and this, this is something that our industry, by and large, has already been following. At least as far as the close knit community that we have. We've already been following this, not making health claims. Especially blatant ones. But I'm now even seeing vape shops that are shying away from saying that this is safer than cigarettes. They're kind of tap dancing around it now, which is good that some of them are knowledgeable enough to do that. But yeah, I mean, and then they're saying a prohibition on the use of light, low, or mild,
Right, which we've never done.
which we've never used.
That just goes to
that's-
show you how out of touch they are with the vaping industry.
yeah.
And I don't know if they're directing this at their cigars and pipe tobacco and other things that they had included, but maybe it wasn't directly intended for vapor products. But if it was, wow.
Yeah.
How stupid can you be?
Mild.
I think that's the furthest from any advertising I've ever seen in a vaping e-liquid, for instance. No one's like mild. Everyone's like, bam! Biggest flavor, brightest color. I mean, it's not
Boom, blaz, plat.
right. So yeah, I just and again, I want to emphasize that this is not directed at consumers. So if you are a consumer, absolutely continue to tell your story about how you think vaping is a safer alternative than
It's even
combustible
more
tobacco.
important. It's even more important now.
More important because companies can no longer do that, but you can. And there are a lot more of you consumers and vapors than there are companies. Infinitely more. Well, not infinitely more, but you know what I mean, exponentially more. There's probably in the United States, I don't know, last estimate I heard 15 to 20,000 vaping industry related businesses. I've seen estimates. I saw something yesterday, actually. I read it, and it was a study that was done recently, and they used a formula to determine how many vapors there were in the EU, and I think it was somewhere around 7 million. And if you took the same formula and applied it to the United States, it put it at around 9 million. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I've heard 4. So now I've heard as low as 4 and as high as 9 million vapors in the United States. Let's say roughly 20% of them aren't, most vapors are just vaping to not smoke, by the way. They're not watching videos. They're not getting involved in CTAs. They're not doing the things because for them, it's just they found something and it works for them and they don't smoke. And that's all they know and that's all they care about. But let's just say 20%, are hobbyists or are advocates or do watch videos and are actively involved. That puts us at around 1.8 million. CASA has a couple 100,000 registered members, I think, somewhere between 100 and 200,000. That's nowhere near enough. So
Adam Webb has a good question. He says, can you still say how it's benefited you personally, even if you are a vape shop employee?
not while you're working, no, because while you're working and on the clock, you're representing the company.
Right. Yeah. You can't like you'll often hear Kevin say that he's speaking on behalf of himself as opposed to speaking on behalf of VCC.
Correct.
It's much the same way. But if you're on the clock and you start making health claims, then technically you're in violation.
Well, VCC is also not a manufacturer of any vapor products.
A good point too.
We host and organize events. We don't manufacture any tobacco products. And even VCC Liquids is a completely separate entity and company. Mm-hmm. It's its own LLC. It's completely separate. And so, yeah, myself as VCC, I can say things like that, but it's coming from my perspective as a vapor and consumer.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of YouTubers were wondering the same thing because, I mean, obviously I own Nambra Juice and we, manufacture and sell e-liquids. But when I'm on YouTube, that's not, I'm not on the Nambra Juice.
You're the owner of Nambra Juice all the time.
Yeah.
Whether or not you say, you can no longer make that distinction. If you're an employee, that puts you in a little different position. If you're the owner of a company, though, like you, Ruby, Matt are, I would definitely shy away from saying anything like that.
Yeah.
You could say that, you could certainly say there are ways that you could say things, I've had vapors tell me their personal story, and it goes like this.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
But you're not making a claim about yourself, though.
Call your lawyer first.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you that once you're the owner of a company, and even I have to watch what I say even closer from now on, because now I own VCC Liquids, and I can't ever turn that off. I'm the owner of VCC Liquids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Another good question, related. As a shop owner, can we have posters or signs hung stating health facts from major health associations? I will speak. There was actually a post in one of the snooze groups on Facebook of it was like a general snooze like bracket, and then they had a bunch of flyers from ash.org in there, stating the health benefits of snus and smokeless tobacco. Because the actual material was supplied from a public health organization that does not have any direct ties to tobacco, that's perfectly legal.
Well,
so I would think that the same would be true for posting CASA posters and pamphlets and things like that in your shop.
Yeah, I mean, I in every video that we do for VCCLive, this is episode 9, so I think in most of them, and if they're not on all of them, I'll go back and check, but I'm pretty sure they're in all of them. If you look in the links below, I put the Royal College of Physicians report, even if we don't discuss it during the episode. And I think that every brick and mortar store should have copies sitting on their coffee tables right next to the magazines they have that are usually just filled with advertisements. Some good advocacy content, but most of them have But if you bound that or just clipped together the Royal College of Physicians report and left it there for casual or recreational reading for your customers, you can maybe even put a statement on there that says, this is not making health claims. It's just for your informational purposes or something like that, for informational purposes only. I think it's very tough for anyone to give you a hard time for having the Royal College of Physicians report sitting on your coffee table.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
That'd be tough. You're not making any claims. You're just providing, an institution, a very well-respected institution's report.
Right.
No harm
and
in
again,
that.
they have no ties to any tobacco.
They have absolutely not.
companies. So
Their true goal, which I think the goal of the FDA should be in the United States, is promote public health. I think that if you want to do something like that, it might cost you a few dollars. Yeah, sure, it might cost you a few dollars, but print the Royal College of Physicians report, clip it together, and leave it on every place where a vapor or a smoker that walks into your shop might be able to read it or pick it up and thumb through it. So. I think it's a good idea to still provide information. You just can't directly say that this product, on August 9th, you cannot say this product is safer than smoking cigarettes or this product is safer than anything else. You can't say safe or less harmful or has fewer or no additives, and you can't say anything like that, even if it's factual.
Yeah, this product will not cause your eyeballs to explode. Can't say it.
Right. You can't say anything.
Until you finish the eyeball exploding study.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, any other questions before we move on from modified risk claims?
No, but once again, I'm going to reiterate, my PDF is frozen and I don't want to get too...
All right, so we have new products, which we've talked about already and everyone knows about pretty much by now. No new products can be introduced until FDA has issued a marketing order authorizing sale based on an SE, substantial equivalence, or PMTA, pre-market tobacco application. That's FDCA Section 910, subsection 2A. I think that's pretty clear at this point. I'm not sure we need to really rediscuss that.
Yeah. And that also includes changing your products as well, correct?
Yes.
So you can't redo the labels of a juice line with completely new.
Well, I think the marketing.
I
don't think the marketing of it is what's in question here. It's the substantial change to the manufactured product, and that would be like you substantially change the flavoring level, or you substantially change the PGVG level.
Right.
The nicotine levels, they've already indicated, which again, who knows how much the FDA actually knows about it, but the nicotine levels, they have said that they would even do like a PMTA and group like 0, 3, 6, 12, 18 into one application, as long as the flavoring agents and the PGVG ratio and stuff like that is substantially the same or the same. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that the no new products really has to do with the marketing of your product at all. As long as what's in that container, or as long as that coil, or as long as that tank or battery, or everything is substantially is what makes up the actual product itself, not the marketing of it, is the same. So that's just my take on it. Again, my opinion, and it makes sense. But hey, has the FDA ever been reasonable?
Yeah. I think, and I agree with you. And again, I'm speaking from personal experience. I think what the FDA is going to be looking for is new flavor, or new device, that kind of thing.
Right.
If you can prove that, it's pretty much the same device. It's just, we tightened a screw a little tighter or something. They're not going to come after you.
Yeah. If you look at other industries again as well, and I know it doesn't really compare on the same level, but I think it was Pepsi or Coke came out with a different labeling system. And actually their catch line, which I remember, was new look, same great taste.
Right.
So they didn't really reformulate their product. They just changed the way that they were marketing it with a new look. And I think that is something that would be acceptable.
And it just shows how much of a sucker consumers can be. Ooh, let's buy that. It has a
right.
new look.
VCCLive did not say that. Hingham Hill did. So keep that in mind. All right. So any questions on that, Jay, before we move on? I think it's pretty clear.
Actually, so Adam Webb once again asks, so if you change the airflow on an atomizer, it's not a new device?
If you're changing the airflow, like if you're drilling the air hole out, yeah, that's changing the device.
I would say
if you're doing this on a Nautilus and clicking to a different airflow setting, no, that is not. That's just using the feature of the existing feature of the device.
Well, I mean, but again, we're looking at enforcement here. Would maybe drilling out the air hole a little more, as opposed to changing the direction of the airflow?
I think if you're not making it, again, it goes down to substantial changes. If you're drilling it from,
if the FDA, finds you, are you willing to take them to court to prove that it was substantially equivalent? I don't know.
Well, ultimately, it's going to be you, the tobacco manufacturer, which you will be on August 9th, by the way, if you're manufacturing a product. You, the tobacco manufacturer, will have to be able to substantiate your claims that the product was on the market prior to August 8th. So if the market was on the if the product was on the market on August 7th and it had a 3 millimeter air hole, and they come into your shop and they find that it has a 6 or 7 millimeter air hole, that is not the same product.
Yeah.
Okay. Misbranding. FDA will begin enforcement on false or misleading labeling and advertising. FDCA, section 903A1.
Does that mean like putting health claims on your bottles? Is that false or
I
misleading?
don't know. I mean, that's one of the ones
if
I'm
it's
confused.
6 milligram juice in a bottle that says 3 milligram juice.
That definitely would be something I think would fall under that.
Yeah.
Well, that's essentially fraud.
That's
Well, false advertising would be, probably again, what they're looking for is health claims.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're kind of alluding to but it's just specific to the labeling now.
Yeah, I'm not. So just be factual in your labeling and advertising.
Jennifer's asking a question specific to Nick. Will you be able to say in your reviews and vlogs anymore to fight for your right to a less harmful alternative to smoking?
Probably not. It's something I've been thinking about. And I always say at the beginning of my reviews that the FDA is trying to take away your access to life-saving vapor products. Probably won't say that anymore. I'm going to try and think of a new spiel.
Just take out life-saving. You'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the exclamation point on the statement, though, is life-saving vapor products.
Well,
And
how
it bumped,
about
you
saying
know,
non-smelly?
non-smelly vapor products?
I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, it is,
don't-
this is the world we're going to be living in next Tuesday. So,
Yeah,
We're all gonna be
I don't
dancing on
want-
eggshells.
I don't want to not say that, but I'm gonna spend some time trying to think of like a thing
That's a good
I
one.
could say.
John Moore says life-changing.
Life changing.
Huh?
Oh,
That could work.
John coming
Moore.
through. That's actually really good.
yeah, I mean, it's not making any health claims.
It's
No.
not. It is a life. That's good.
How did
I'm
it change?
using
If
it.
they
Done.
say, if the FDA wants clarification on how did it change your life? Well, for starters, I'm not spending as much money as I did smoking. That's a financial and economic claim.
Yeah, and
not
I
a
don't
health
stink
claim.
like an ashtray anymore.
Although poverty is the leading cause of death. So I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so everyone's going to have to basically watch how they label and advertise products. So just
Well,
be mindful
yeah,
of that.
Thank you for that, John. I'm going to take full credit for thinking of that. So, sorry.
And I will take full credit for relaying his message to
What he's saying is he gets about 30,000 views or 40,000 on his vlogs, and we get about 600 or 700 on the VCCLive. So
Yeah. So no one's.
you
gonna
guys,
believe
it's up to
John.
you to
No
share
one-
this as widely as possible so that we get 30,000 views, and everyone that watches Grimm's next vlog will know where it came from. All right, vending machines. I haven't seen a whole lot of these, and I haven't seen it be a huge issue, so I'm not really sure how much this is going to apply. But vending machines are prohibited except in facility. I'm assuming that they meant facilities where a retailer ensures that no one under 18 or higher legal age, because some states are now 19 and some are 21, is present or permitted to enter at any time. That's 21 CFR 1140.14 subsection B.
That has no application to vapor products.
It really
can't.
doesn't. I've heard tell of
Well-
one vending machine company at one convention, and it never took off.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be too applicable, but if anyone was having some grand dreams of having vending machines for e-liquid or vapor products,
Yes.
you just have to make sure that it's in a facility that is at least 18 or the higher legal age based on your state, or it won't be permitted.
Now, some people are bringing up First Amendment issues. You know, doesn't this infringe on freedom of speech?
What?
The labeling requirements, the not being able to state health claims, that kind of thing. That's a show in and of itself,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I mean, I could go on about that for hours.
Well, I mean, again, the thing with how the law works is sometimes this is not a law in the typical sense of, Congress passed something and the president signed it. This will have to be tested in court in order for us to get precedent on it, unless the federal law is changed prior to, someone getting to that point. So, unfortunately, it's one of those things where we won't know until we do.
Yeah. In short, I think, essentially what this particular regulation does is it preemptively limits your speech in lieu of you being able to prove your statements. Whereas typically, if you're inciting a riot or something, then they can just come after you. But here they're preemptively preventing you from saying things.
Well, there's two different. Inciting a riot would be a criminal offense, and this would be a civil offense. So it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
mean-
essentially you're looking at fraud.
But just to go back for one quick second to misbranding, this is not something unique to. I don't even know why the FDA felt that they had to put this in there, because it's already against the law to have false or misleading labeling or advertising on any product. I mean, it's not
Right.
something that's specific to the vaping industry.
But what this does is it puts the onus on the person making the statements.
Yeah, but even if they
Opposed-
didn't have this in there, it's still against the law for any business to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
anyway, yeah, good questions. Thank you guys, and keep it up if you have any more while we're going along here. We're already at 12:40, so yeah, I think that was the end actually for August 8th. What's required on August 8th? That's it. That's
Yeah.
the gamut.
That's it.
And then there will be some more coming up for December 31st, but I think we're going to get through this first, and then we'll talk some more about that probably in the coming weeks. By the way, a show note for you guys: Matt Coley is not here with us today, but he will be back next. He will be not back, but he will be debuting next week. We've had to delay it by a couple of weeks because he had the flooding issues and still having some issues with getting his house dried out in the leak repaired or whatever. So he's obviously not able to use his camera setup. You'll probably notice not as many videos until he gets that done. So he'll be back with us next week. And yeah, we're looking forward to that debut. And also in, 2 weeks from today? Yeah, 2 weeks from today, we'll have Azim Chowdhury from Keller and Heckman. He is, I would say, the leading expert attorney for the vapor industry as it goes to FDA deeming regulations. And they are actually the lead counsel for the Right to Be Smoke-Free Coalition's lawsuit, which was joined with the Nicopere and Halo lawsuit. So he's going to be joining us on August 19th live at noon here on VCCLive. So definitely check that out. He did an interview with Nick, I think it was about a month and a half ago, something like that. If you haven't watched that yet, definitely check it out. He's got a lot of great information. But we're going to he was kind of telling Nick and the viewers what's coming up, and we're going to get to what's happened since August 8th. So it'll give us a couple of weeks to see what's going on and what the impacts have been, and if anything has changed dramatically. So
yeah, that's going to be awesome. Everybody should watch that show. Not that they shouldn't watch every show, but Azim is...
he's a really knowledgeable guy.
He's super smart, and he speaks very clearly. I understood everything he was telling me, which is rare, and he's just a really good guy. I'm excited.
Yeah, he gets his point across in a way that you can understand it. He's not going to bore you to death with legalese, basically. You'll be able to get it. And also, I've seen some people questioning. So again, I try not to talk. This shows more about an advocacy, and I don't want to talk about what VCC does or products too much, but it kind of overlaps in some respects. So I feel like I'm going to bring this up. So at VCC TN 16, we're going to have to charge a sampling fee at the door for people to get in. And as everyone probably knows by this point, it's against my policy to have a door fee for people to get into a vaping convention, because I don't want to turn away smokers who might be interested in trying out the products and becoming vapors and joining our cause. However, Azim is actually the person who I spoke to about this, and I've seen some people questioning whether or not what I'm going to be doing is the correct way to do it, or where's the money going that I'm collecting from it.
Right.
So I just wanted to say this really quickly here. So I spoke with Azim, and I had two questions for him. One, how is August 8th going to change marketing from VCC standpoint? I don't know what other companies do that organize events, and I'm only concerned with how it's going to affect VCC events because that's what I organize and that's what I do. And he said our discussion led to we're not going to make any changes to the way that we market the events at this time. So marketing for the events, if you're a sponsor, your sponsor is going to go, your logo is going to go wherever we would have put it in the past. That's not going to change. And the second question I had for him was, what about the sampling fee? Because I've heard people say, why aren't the vendors doing it at their booth? Can you imagine the cluster, FUCK, that would create at an event with a vendor that has a stack of people 10 deep trying to get stuff from them, and they're all trying to collect their sampling fee? And anyway, it's just much easier for us as the event organizer to do that at the front registration before everyone gets in, and we're still going to have a $0 entry fee. There is no charge to enter the VCC events for an entry fee. I just don't believe in it. We do have to charge a $15 sampling fee, and the way that we arrived at $15 is it's reasonable amount. I couldn't charge 1, I couldn't charge 5. 10 was even probably a little low for someone who's going to come in with a wristband and could come back theoretically for 2 days, public sessions, and sample, hundreds of products. So we thought 15 would be a reasonable level, and it's still affordable by anyone who wants to come in. It's not going to, I don't think, turn anyone away for $15. And then people are saying, where does that money go? Why don't you just take it and donate to advocacy? Because if you do that, then at that point, it no longer becomes a sampling fee, but a donation. And I think that's specifically what they're going to be looking for. If an FDA inspector does come and they're dressed in plain clothes and they're asking, so where does this money go? Like they're coming and posing as a vapor. Where does this money go? Oh, we as VCC have to take it as revenue. because it is the requirement by the FDA deeming regulations. And that's what I'm going to train our people who are at the front, who are taking people's money, who did not register online, which you can register and do it online beforehand and save yourself some time at the door. But yeah, that's just the way that we're going to do it. And it may not be the way that other people interpret it. It may not seem reasonable to you, but you're not the one who's organizing the event. I am. I'm the one who shoulders the responsibility for it going off smoothly. We've had 80 events that have had no issues at all. They run smooth as pie. I don't know if that's an expression. Smooth as butter. They run smooth. Why? Because we plan in advance. We do a lot of hours of planning. We make sure that everything is ready. So, yeah, other events might be doing other things.
That's amazing.
That's their prerogative. I'm doing what I think is the right way, and I spoke to Azim Chowdhury, and if you want to, give him a call. You know, he'll probably take some money from you, I'm sure, to give you some advice. But yeah, that's the way it's going to go at VCC events from now on. And I say unfortunately, because I don't want there to be any barrier to coming to the event, and I don't think $15 is going to stop anyone from coming to the event. I think we're going to have a very well attended event in Chattanooga. They haven't had anything there in I think a year and a half or 2 years. So they're ready. They're ready to come out and have some fun and meet people and advocate and do what we do at VCC events. So that's the way we're going to handle it.
Yeah, and that's not a completely abnormal practice of charging for sampling of items, like a door fee to get in. Just at the state fair, I went to a thing where you pay. It was expensive. It was like $50, but you got a little wristband with little tabs, and you could go to this whiskey vendor and pull off a little tab and give them a tab, and then they give you a little taster of their brand of whiskey. And you could only do that, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 times. Plenty, a normal, plenty of times. But
I can't believe you didn't invite me.
It was super cool. I drank a lot of whiskey that day. And yeah, I mean, I've done
that's a good idea.
A bunch of things for alcohol events, for beer events. So,
well, the thing is, I mean, once you try 15 or 20 whiskeys, you're either going back to the hotel and passing out or getting an Uber home.
Yeah, or you get another wristband is what.
Yeah, but at a vaping event, I mean, for VCC, what we're going to do is $15. As long as you keep the wristband on, you'll be able to come in both days and not pay any additional. It's not like it's $15 per day; it's $15 total because the products at the event won't change from Saturday to Sunday.
Right.
And
somebody made a comment in the chat. We actually didn't even touch on this for August 8th. Please confirm vape shops cannot install coils, wicks, or batteries for customers. We've seen a lot of talk about that on social media.
I didn't see it in the
VTA
document
thing.
I didn't, but I know in some of the guidance and some of the videos that they've provided, they've said, yes, that makes you a tobacco manufacturer.
Anything that you do to alter the core product or create a new product that was not on the market prior to August 8th, even up to and including assembly, if you're putting in a coil, if you're building a coil, yes, that will make you a tobacco manufacturer.
Yeah, I believe that's accurate.
So, I mean, you can't physically do it. Maybe you could stand there and watch the consumer and tell them, take the coil out of the package, screw it into the hole where the coil goes. As long as the consumer is doing it and you're not.
And they can copycat you. So if you say, here's my device, take your device, do this. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but they can copycat you.
That was smooth as pie.
Smooth as cake. And they can copycat you in that aspect.
Or there are a number of YouTube reviewers who back in the day used to do building. Turn them onto some YouTube channels and tell them, check out Pete Basardo's K-Fun build or check out Grim Green, check out any of these guys who are doing builds. And they had instructional videos on the on the YouTube and in the marketplace prior to August 8th.
Yeah.
So
I'm probably going to get shit for saying this, but my personal opinion is that I don't think enforcement is going to get that anal. If again, my personal opinion is if an employee assembles a coil and primes it and hands it to the consumer, I don't think they're going to get a fine or they're going to get they have to have a specific license or whatever. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that's really what their goal is here.
Yeah, it was one of those things you just don't know. They could have a plainclothes, health inspector guy come in and say, "Hey, can you rebuild this for me?" And the guy behind the counter goes, "Yeah, totally." And the guy goes, "Oh, okay, well."
Yeah. Shows a badge and pulls a gun on you.
Yeah, just knees you to the ground. So
I would say, I agree with Jay. I don't think they're going to get that minute. I think especially for
say in the short term.
In the short term, right?
Err on the side of caution.
And also too, in the next couple of years, they're going to be tackling the big fish. It's going to take them a while, and if we don't change things within the next few years at the federal level, either through litigation or legislation, this will be the new reality forever. But once they get through the 15,000 or so, whatever it is, new tobacco manufacturers in the United States, then I think that at that point they'll move on to shop level. But who knows? There may be some health inspectors at a local level that are going to be Barney Fifes and take their job way too seriously, and they're going to be going and looking specifically for that. So I would not recommend doing anything that would put you in the category of a tobacco manufacturer if that's not your intention to be one.
Yeah,
that's just the way I would look at it. But again, everyone's different, and I know that some companies that have retail brick and mortar shops are going to be advising their employees to follow it strictly. So. The same thing with the health claims. I know Innovate, for instance, in their retail stores is not going to have their employees say anything at all.
Right.
Anything. So, it's going to be a new reality Tuesday, guys. So that's what been trying to prepare you for a long time now. Things won't be the same, but we will carry on. That's a good time to show our quote for the week. Do you see that? The history of liberty is a history of resistance. That kind of is a dual meaning for the vaping community. Get it? Resistance. Anyway, and also if you're nerdy too, resistance is futile. See, I did watch Star Trek: Next Generation.
Good.
Not as much as Star Wars, but
you should watch
the history of liberty is a history of resistance. It doesn't mean that, again, we say this quite frequently on here. This is Woodrow Wilson, by the way, who was, I think, a really great president. And, so liberty is not something that just happens and stays forever. You have to continue to fight for your liberty. And if there's something like what's going on now through the FDA, we have to resist it. That's the point. That's the point of being an American. Mm-hmm. You don't just take what the government says and let them force it down your throat and accept it. So, if you don't like the way things are, change them. You can't do that in some countries in the world. You suck it up and you live your life the way that the government tells you to. But that's not where we are. We happen to be fortunate, if you are watching this, to be born in or become a citizen of the United States of America. And that's what we do. So, let's go. We've got about 6 minutes left. We might go a little bit over today because I want to show you guys this really quick trailer and what's going on. So that the second item that we were going to talk about today is A Billion Lives. And if you haven't visited abillionlives.com yet, do yourself a favor and check it out. It is a documentary that was produced by Attention Era Media and directed by Aaron Biebert out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And this weekend, they are having their North American film debut for this documentary. It's already premiered, I think, in different parts of the world, New Zealand, Australia, Austria. But this is the first North American premiere of it. And let me flip over to the right screen real quick, and we'll give you a listen.
I almost flinch when I hear colleagues saying things about e-cigarettes that they know or they should know are completely wrong, or exaggerated, or scaremongering. There's too much of that going on.
It's the tobacco industry who manufactures them.
They might or might not be able to help you quit, but there are
definite harms that they can cause.
We don't yet know about vaping.
The dangers of e-cigarettes are clear.
It's the same as antifreeze.
We used to have very dangerous products, and the makers of those used to lie about those.
There is the never-ending concern about the alleged effects of smoking.
The evidence is certainly inconclusive at this time.
We now have much safer products, and the public health community is lying about those.
The e-cigarette makers are making these for kids because they make chocolate and other flavors.
What's going on?
Money. Funding.
Money is corrupting our most trusted organizations.
Money has something to do with everything.
The cover-up is real.
If you're a pharmaceutical company who's starting to see your share of the market on nicotine replacement therapy slide, what are you going to do? You're going to sit on your bum and do nothing?
Cigarette companies realize that e-cigarettes are now a threat to the old business.
And are they?
Huge threat.
165,000 kids die from secondhand smoke. Every year, 1 billion people will die this century from tobacco.
It's still a big deal. It's still, around 20% of adults are smoking in many countries. 1 in 5. That's not going away at the moment. It's certainly not going away quickly.
There is a solution, but it will cost big organizations billions of dollars. Smoking, it's good business, so they lie.
We know that they don't actually allow people to stop smoking.
Now there's even more evidence that these are a gateway to smoking regular cigarettes.
The pollution of disposable.
The e-cigarette industry has been ripping tactic after tactic from Big Tobacco's playbook.
Today's electronic cigarettes are no better than the Joe Camels of the past.
It's about one of the biggest public health interventions potentially of all time.
If you look at e-cigarettes, growing evidence that this could be the breakthrough that we're waiting for.
1 billion people could die in the 21st century. If these things take off, potentially hundreds of millions of lives could be saved.
This is a miracle. This is, an absolute public health miracle in the making.
All right, so that's the trailer.
Good stuff.
And I think it looks very gripping. I've talked to Aaron. He was at a couple of VCC events that we've done, and I think it's going to be more geared towards. I think vapors are going to be disappointed that it doesn't talk about vapors as much as they think it's going to. It's more about how did we get here and how can we change. I think the direction of public health organizations and the public opinion and lawmakers.
Yes, we are not the audience for this film.
I'm so bummed that I can't make it to Milwaukee this weekend, but unfortunately I can't, and I cannot wait to see this film.
Me too.
So when that will happen, I'm not sure, but again, that gets us back over here to if you are in the area. I'm not sure if they have tickets remaining or not, but it's going to be the A Billion Lives North American premiere tomorrow, August 6th, 7 p.m. Central Time at the Pabst Theater, 144 East Wells Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tickets are available at pabstheater.org. That's PABSTTHEATER.org. For those of you, if you're listening on the replay, you're probably going to miss it, but anyway, you can find out information about it there, and they have some Facebook event page here. So, and they have posts. So definitely check out their Facebook page and their event page here. We need to get this in the front of every decision maker at every level in the United States of America.
Yeah.
For sure. So as soon as this premiere happens, I guess we'll find out where it's going to be going in the future in the United States as far as releases in theaters. Their goal is to have it in enough theaters, I think, to make it eligible for an Oscar, which I think is outstanding. And congratulations to Aaron and your whole crew for what you guys have done. Aaron is not a smoker or a vapor, by the way. He's a filmmaker who saw a subject that has the potential to change 1 billion lives over the course of the next century. And I think that at some point in the future, maybe 50 years from now, this film may be revered as one of the sparks required to light the fire under the asses of the people who are making the decisions in this country and beyond. I think it's already had an impact in New Zealand, for instance, where it was first released and where it first premiered, that they were reversing their public policy on electronic cigarettes. That's outstanding.
I saw that yesterday.
It's outstanding. We definitely need this film in front of people that are in decision-making positions in the United States as soon as possible. So,
Agreed. Absolutely. Show it. Are you going to show it at VCC Chattanooga?
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll
just set up a screening room.
I know Aaron's been reluctant. They put a lot of their own money into this, so they definitely need to find. They need to recoup some of that, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
But if we are able to, I'll talk to Aaron about it, and we'll see what we can do. I mean, yeah, that's definitely something that I'm interested in doing. But I know that he had to have it premiere in theaters here before and went to other entities.
Yeah, that's one thing that was driving me nuts on social media. There were a lot of people screaming, "Why don't they just release it on YouTube? Why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do that?" Look, none of you are filmmakers. None of you understand like the economics of how a film gets produced and released. Why even make statements like that? Like seriously, it's not like he's holding back on purpose. He's trying to do things the right way so that the film is taken seriously. If you just release it on YouTube, it's just going to get overlooked. That's
it'll get a lot of shares in the vaping community, but that's not the goal. That's not the goal of what this film is about.
That's not the intended audience. This is intended to change minds. This is not intended to preach to the converted. You know?
Exactly. So we wish you all the best of luck this weekend, guys. I'm not sure if Aaron will check this out at some point in the future. I'll probably tell him personally, send him a message and say, break a leg, because I know you don't say good luck in the entertainment world, but I really hope that they have a great and successful launch this weekend. And for everyone who's going, let us know what you thought. Post it on your social media. We'll share it. Post on the VCCLive page what you guys thought of the film. And any wrap-up thoughts, Jay? Any questions, by the way? Have we overlooked anything?
We had a few more questions relating back to August 8th, but I think we pretty well covered it.
Okay.
So, but a lot of great questions, a lot of great discussion going on in chat, as always.
How many people were we at live? Were we in the 50s or 60s? Or
we were in the 40s for most of the show.
40s for most of the show? Okay.
Yeah. So don't ask me that live on air ever again, though.
Why? I mean, why not? I want people to.
We suck. We have 10 viewers.
I don't care if we have 10 viewers who are interested. That's fine by me. But I want people that are watching this to just take a second and share the VCCLive page so that we can get more people on it, that they can know when it's going to be happening live.
Absolutely.
And share the replays. And we need to get more views because there are a lot of vaping related shows out there, but I think we're the only one not the only one, but one of the few who are doing, at least an hour long of advocacy only discussion. And I think what we say, could make a difference on how someone gets involved or interacts. So if you could please just take a second and share the VCC page, share the YouTube channel, youtube.com/vapingcc. If we can get that viewership up to 100 or 200 live every week and then get, thousands of replays, we're not making any money from it. I mean, it's not like I'm appealing to you, anything like that. I just think the more audience we have and the broader reach we have, the better it's going to be for getting the message out there and educating vapors and smokers. And isn't that what we're doing anyway? I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah. I'll say if we can get our subscribers up to about 5,000, I will offer up a free dinner with Nick.
You must pay for your own expenses to get to California.
We're going to have some California burritos. It'll be good times.
Yeah, so, definitely please share, like, subscribe. Let's get the word out there. So any follow-up thoughts, Jay? Last minute?
Well, reading through the August 8th regulations, and I've been saying this for months, August 8th is not the end of the world. A lot of people obviously are freaking out. There are so many different e-liquids on the market right now. If you can't find one out of the current inventory of the entire market, you're kind of up Schitt's Creek no matter what else is might have come otherwise. And on the hardware front, Yes, I would like to see more innovation going forward. However, there's something out there now for every single style of vapor.
Right.
Yeah.
You can get a smoker to quit smoking off of something that's currently on the market.
We
or
all
has
did it
been the
on
market.
we all did it on much worse products, I promise you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
6 years ago, it was an Ego with a 510 Addy, Joytech 510 Addy. That was it. So it's not the end of the world. Yes, you're going to see a lot less hype going on around garage built mods and garage e-liquid, but it's not the end of the world. It's not even close to it.
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to echo what Jay said, August 8th is coming whether you want it to or not. And I think after August 8th passes and when it's August 9th and people see that the world hasn't ended, that everyone's going to calm down a little bit and hopefully get a little bit more focused on, what we can do in the future to keep vaping alive. And, while you can say it, while we can still say it, keep these life-saving vapor products on the market.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but vaping saved my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a 95% healthier alternative to combustible tobacco, according to the Royal College of Physicians.
I can't tell you for
Say
sure
anything you want to get
until
out there
I'm
now,
85.
Jay or Nick, because next week's show we will not be doing that.
Yeah, no.
Vaping will save your life if you give it a shot. And if you can share this with a smoker, or if you can share it with a smoker, still, if you're a consumer, share your personal story. Because it might make a difference in someone's life. So, all right, well, we'll be back next week, Friday at noon. We'll have Matt Coley with us. He has promised that he will be with us next week, even if he's on a cell phone and Skype. Well, he didn't say that, but that's what I'm saying. So, thank you guys for watching. Please remember to smash that thumbs up button. The likes really help us out as well, not in addition to the subscribe and shares, because it helps get us into the search results on YouTube and Google. So definitely smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, share, get the word out there. And remember, you don't have to do everything, but you do have to do something. Get involved.